Hello all, welcome back to my channel once again. So in this video, let's get familiarized with the monorail crane. So generally, there are different kinds of crane that we use on board. Uh, like maybe we have noticed it while carrying a provision, you use one type of crane. While using a bunker hose to connect with the bunker ship, we use a fuel oil hose David crane. For cargos, we use a different type of crane. So basically those all crane will be actually having an arm that will be moving up down. If suppose this is the stand and this is the crane, like you can see it will be parked like this, the hand will be moving like this. So this is actually called luffing operation, and the crane can be moved like this. Actually this is called slewing operation, and the hook from here going up down is called hoisting and lowering. So this is basically one type of crane. Other than this, there are also cranes which doesn't have any arm moving up like this. There is no any arm that is moving up down like this, or slewing operation that is moving the crane like 270 degrees, nothing like that. There are certain cranes with fixed structure only used for hoisting and lowering, so their application differs. And one such crane is called actually monorail crane. The similar type of monorail crane is also used in engine room, about the engine part, to during overall or during decarbing of the engine, or during the piston pull. Sometimes some nationalities call it as a piston pull, or sometimes they call it as an decarb of engine. So whenever there is a requirement to take the piston out of the engine, they use this type of crane. Above the engine we can see this crane. So this is one type of crane that is used basically on board. There is a group which is rotary, having this luffing arm. There is one type of crane which doesn't have any such things, only fixed on a railing the whole operation takes place. So today we are going to get familiarized with one such crane which is just sitting on a railing and doing its operation. So this type of crane is actually you can get to see in engine room as well as at the engine room casing side, outside engine room. So yeah, now we are going to talk about this monorail crane. Monorail crane, as the name suggests, it is a crane that the whole operation takes place in a single railing in a monorail. That is why the name monorail crane. Okay, so rather than me just explaining you about the monorail crane, I think it's better that we go have a short look and get familiarized about the crane. So I have taken a short video. We'll just see the video and come back and just get familiarized with it. Yeah, let's go.
So this is that monorail crane present at the engine casing. Outside of the engine casing, this is how it looks, and that is the railing, and that's why the name monorail. And that's the machinery part where you saw that light flashing. That is a warning light while you're operating the crane. So now I'm on the crane, and on the crane, this is the control panel of the crane, like the heart, the nervous system of our body. This is the nervous system of the monorail crane. So this is an electronic OCR over there. These are the contactors. And there is a heat sink, current transformer with the black colored thing. So transformers for the control circuit. These are the fuses, the relays. So basically this is the control panel of monorail crane. Like one set is for the starboard side motor, the other set is for the port side motor. And this is the winch, hoisting winch, the one which you saw, the hoisting winch drum that is rotated using a motor. And this is the electronic OCR showing the amps, how much amps it is taking. And the winch on the side, you see there is on the left side, you can see a wire grating inside. So that is actually a limit switch that is responsible for controlling the speed of the motor. Let's get to see about that in the later part of the video. You see the winch drum, and these are the rectifiers for the brakes, and these are the terminal strips for 40 volt. So just get a basic familiarization, get an idea what is inside. We'll get to see in a detailed way later upon completion of this familiarization. Yeah, the lighted ones are energized. Those are relays with LED lamp indication, which shows that they are energized. This is the circuit diagram. We just made a little modification on the circuit. We installed a reset switch, so that is what does this. And yeah, so this is that hook I'm always talking, and this is the parking position. It comes and rests in a position that is called parking position. Now this is the parking position. It still has to go up, so that is the parking position of a hook. Yeah, and this is the railing on a railing. So this is how it looks. Maybe I think this view will give you a better idea because there is not really much space to stand. So yeah, this is the control panel, the starter panels. This one door, it's lifted up. Yeah, so there you can see the transverse motor with its limit switch. Yeah, and this is the parking positions limit switch. And these are also interlock, safety interlocks. Before operating the crane, you have to make sure these stoppers are designed.
So as you saw the parts, I hope now it would have been very helpful for you, maybe given a basic idea, and I think it would be better to understand right now. So what we can understand is it's a crane which can move only in transverse and only can do a cargo operation, only can do a load operation of lifting and lowering, and it can move either way, starboard to port. Okay, this is the basic thing it can do. There is no any arm, there is no any slewing. So yeah, clear. So for lowering and hoisting, there are two motors as we saw. One motor is for starboard side operation, one motor is for port side operation. If you want to use a starboard side hook, so starboard side motor is used. If you want to use the port side hook, so port side motor responsible for lowering and hoisting is used. So the motor which you see is only for hoisting and lowering, and the motor above that you saw is for transversing, moving the crane like to a starboard extent to a port extent. Okay, you got it right. So yeah, now the speciality of this motor, the hoisting and lowering motor, the same motor which is doing both hoisting and lowering, the speciality of this motor is it is a speed changing motor, sometimes to be ETO, maybe literally, or we can call it as an pole changing motor. Rather than telling it as a speed changing, we can call it as a pole changing motor. The same motor runs at two different speeds, and here we are using two different speeds. The application is used when the crane starts lower its hook from its parking position till 1.5 meters. It runs at slow speed. After 1.5 meter it will run at high speed. Similarly, the lower hook, when it is lifted up, it will come hoists very fast, and when it is about 1.5 meters towards its parking position, it will come slow. Like it will come fast and slowly it will go. Similarly, from the parking position it will go slow and fast it will go. Okay, so basically that 1.5 meter distance, and the slower speed is either for lowering or either for heaving up or lowering is being arranged so that it is ensured the safety is maintained. Why? Because if you're going to lift the hook or heave up the hook very fastly and going to park, maybe the hook can bend. So they wanted to little slow, and then slowly you drag it up, so slowly it can go and be safely parked in its parking position. So basic idea is this. Now how this speed changing motor works, basically speed of a motor is determined by two factors. Being an electrical engineer, we can understand either with the help of the frequency or with the number of volts. There is a formula like NS is equal to 120 F by V. I'm looking for a paper here. I don't know how any 120 F by P. Yeah, there's one, right? NS is equal to 120 F by P. So this one. So the speed of the motor is determined by either the frequency or pole. Here we are not changing the frequency, but we are changing the pole. And the applications of speed changing motor is used in monorail crane, as well as from my experience I have also seen it is used in the accommodation AC unit, the air conditioning units. My last vessel was an ice class vessel. Whenever you are using an air conditioner, the blower for air conditioner used to run at high speed. But when we are getting to a colder region, then we turn on the heater, we stop the compressor, we turn on the heater, and we allow the blower to run at a low speed. Okay, so the speed changing motor application varies like this. Anyways, so this is one speciality of the motor that is being used in a monorail crane. So this one I wanted to convey you. And other than that, now we understand that speed is getting changed. But so yeah, now the question is how this hook is coming to know that, yeah, at the distance of 1.5 meter from the parking position I have to run at slow speed, then upon crossing 1.5 meters I have to run at a high speed. Like, who is giving that command? Like, how this hook is getting to know, or how this motor is made to control at this speed for this particular distance, or for this speed for this particular distance, or after crossing this particular distance. So the main thing is there is a limit switch. Okay, that limit switch sends or energizes the motor's pole changing windings, or the contactors responsible for that, to run that motor at that particular speed. So there are two limit switches for high speed and low speed. When the low speed limit switch energizes, the motor runs at low speed. When the high speed limit switch energizes, the motor runs at high speed. Okay, now where these limit switches are located? These limit switches are located in the hoisting drum end. There is a hoisting drum where, as we saw in the video, where the winding is getting coiled, or the winding, that wire, iron wire, is getting coiled or winded, wounded. So end of that particular drum, there is a small shaft, a spindle. So as the motor rotates, either it will go like this, or as when the motor rotates in clockwise, it will go like this. When the motor rotates in anti-clockwise, it will come like this. While hoisting, it has to rotate like this. When lowering, it has to rotate like this. So it will go, the spindle, the end of the drum shaft will go like this, and it will come like this, go like this, and come like this. So inside this, there's the limit switch. So initially it hits one limit switch, then when it goes, it touches another limit switch. So when it comes, an NC is made, there are limit switches like this, then like this. So this is how there is a inside limit switches. So those limit switches responsible for the respective speed is actually energizing or telling the motor to run at that particular speed, either low speed or high speed. So this is all about the monorail crane. The only thing you have to know is about the safeties involved in the monorail crane, like how to operate it, like what is the type of motor used in the monorail. Because for anyone, like, it looks complicated for a first time ETO, but actually the circuit, let it be the circuit or whatever it is so simple. The basic operation or the basic output expected from the monorail crane is that it has to lower as well as hoist the load, and also it has to move in the transverse mode. So first thing is 440 volts should be available, control circuit should be good, safety should be working perfectly. If suppose the motor or something is not running, you should be easily able to identify the fault. Either some motor got overloaded, or any of the interlocks has been active, or maybe the onboard crew might be complaining to you that motor is only running at low speed, or motor is running only at high speed. It is not easy to park. When it is coming to the parking position, still it is running at high speed. There is no any speed changing thing happening. So you have to know like where to look and how to look. So generally this kind of crane or this type of crane, it is not used often, mainly during the port operation to land a garbage, to collect a spare only they use. So it's almost like mostly this is used during a time when the crew are busy. Like, you can understand, like if the crane is going to be used in port generally it is a busy operation going on. So during those kind of busy operation, if someone is coming up with a fault, they expect you to act quickly. So for this to develop a quick response to the incidents or the failures or the breakdowns, you need to understand like how the machinery works, what are all the safety is involved. So I hope this video might be giving you a basic understanding of monorail crane and what are all things to look into a crane, like the maintenance, like from a troubleshooting point of view, or from an ETO point of view, like what importance to be given on what particular or on which particular part of the crane. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. And other than that, this particular motor, while talking about the motor, okay, we understand that now how the speed variation is happening, like what is giving or which one is responsible for giving that command to operate it in whether low speed or high speed. That is all okay. Now we understand that it is lowering, it is hoisting. Suppose I want to stop in the middle of the operation. I'm lowering it and suddenly I want to stop it. So how I'm going to stop it? Or I'm lifting it, suddenly I want to stop lifting. I want to hang the cargo or hang whatever I'm lifting in the middle. So how I do? I'm not going to turn off the power. I'm going to apply a brake on it. So any motor is going to have a brake. Okay, I mean any electrical crane, motor, monorail, brake on it. Okay, so this brake is an electrical brake. It is a DC supply brake. We know that for a braking mechanism we are using DC. Why? Because a constant voltage is supplied. So because in a AC it is a sinusoidal waveform, we can understand on off. We don't want that interruptions. We need a constant current signal, so we use a DC voltage for the electrical motors braking. So yeah, so the monorail crane motor has a brake which is supplied with the DC voltage. Now for this brake we have a routine. We have to measure the distance between the plates of the brake. So there is an inspection hole. Open the inspection hole, take your feeler gauge, insert the feeler gauge and check the measurement, gap measurement between these two plates. And that gap measurement should meet the requirements of the manufacturer. If the gap is more, tight it. Okay, if the gap is more, yeah, tight it. For this I have made a video for brake, mooring winch brakes gap measurement, air gap measurement. It is similar to that of mooring winch motors brake air gap measurement. So you can watch that video if you want to have an idea how to measure the brakes air gap of an crane's motor as well. So yeah, this is one thing also which is to be given importance. So yeah, overall this is everything about the crane that I wanted to share.